How good are you with money? Quite often we have money beliefs, negative money beliefs, and they're passed on from the family, and they're from things we heard our parents say as well. For example, money doesn't grow on trees, there's starving Ethiopians and all these other things, which can create money beliefs. There's also, if your parents worked away or worked really hard, you might have the belief that you have to work hard to make money, which was one of mine. There's lots of different things there. So let's look at your current financial situation. Now, I don't want you to share it here or anything, but this is what we're going to do. We're going to go through the steps that you can take to help you with your financial situation. So I've got a list here. And the first thing I've got here is to treat yourself and your personal cash flow as a business. So even if you don't have a business, pretend you are a business. Treat your money in the way you would treat a business's money, because you're going to be more articulate and put more effort into it when you look at it that way. Okay? Review your bank statement. That can be scary, but if you do that, you'll find, more likely than not, you'll find things in there that you maybe don't even need. When I did this a year ago, I realized that, I try to do it every year, I realized that there's a couple of apps that I was paying for monthly, I wasn't even using anymore. And it might only be $10, $15 a month, but those things over a year add up. $10 a month is $120 a year. What else could you put that money into? So review your bank statement, look over at least a couple of months worth and find out where you're spending money unnecessarily, or there might even be bills you can lessen. And I did that. When I looked at my mobile phone bill and went back and looked at my actual contract, my phone that I was purchasing, it was paid off, but I was still paying that monthly amount. So I went into the website for Telstra, who I use, and I had a look, and I was able to halve my phone bill. So go through your statements, have a look at where you can take things away and where you can make it less, okay? Budgeting. I'm shit at budgeting. I'm learning. I now have an Excel spreadsheet for my income and an Excel spreadsheet for my expenses, and I can now see what bills are coming up when. And if you're no good at budgeting, there's plenty of places out there that offer free services. Here's something for you to try. For 1 week, carry a notebook around with you and write down everything you spend money on. Everything. For 1 week. Again, this is where you can see where you're wasting money. And when you have to write it down, it kind of makes you think, oh, maybe I don't need that after all. It's really good. It's a bit like a food diary, except it's a money diary. And the other way you can do it is just collect receipts for everything, and at the end of the day, write them all down. It's a really great activity for, even if you think you're doing really well, it's a really great activity. Use debit cards and not credit cards. Credit cards is borrowing money. You're paying interest on that. I know there's a lot of reasons why you have a credit card. I certainly got a debit card because I couldn't book a hotel or hire a car back, because they expect that. So have a debit card instead of a credit card. Otherwise you end up in a lot of debt. Financial thermostat savings model. I did this in the beginning and it was really, really exciting, but now I use my Excel spreadsheet. Actually, I'll share it into the group. Basically, it's a map of a thermostat like that. And you have lines on it of goals you want to achieve. So if you want to make, say $5,000 or whatever, you break it into $500 increments. And as you reach each level, you color it in. And it feels really good. It's that dopamine, right? You color in up to that level with a bit of red or whatever, and you make your way up. And it really inspires you to do more, and it makes you a bit more creative. Like, how else can I get that next dollar or whatever it is? So that's one way. Another way to budget or to keep an eye on your expenses is to have envelopes for each of the areas you spend money on. Some people go to the bigger length of a bank account for each, and you can divvy the money out so you know that you've got enough or haven't got enough or whatever. And the more effort you put into this, the more you play with money, the better you get at it and the more abundant you'll become. Because remember, where energy flows is where the focus is. So if you're putting all this effort and focus into money, guess what's going to happen? Add any bonus money into debt reduction. So if you, for some reason, end up with a bit of extra cash, put it into one of your bills. Put it into your credit card or whatever. Because these things need to be paid, and the quicker you pay them, you're not going to incur fees, less interest, all the rest of it. And on interest, pay off the highest interest rate bill first, because you're saving more money that way. When you're purchasing things, ask yourself, do I want this or do I need this? Is it a necessity? And if it's a want, you can have wants, of course, but we want to reward ourselves sometimes, so that's where that comes in. But really, really consider things when you're purchasing it. And back to the writing down the notebook for a week or keeping the receipts for a week, that'll help you really assess that. And most importantly, pay yourself first. Pay yourself first, even if it's 10 cents. Some people say to put 10% of your earnings into a savings account. That can be the pay yourself first. Because if we're just putting money into bills, it feels awful. It does, doesn't it? You feel like you're doing all this work for nothing, and it's not inspiring at all. So pay yourself first. That savings account, or maybe the bill is a boat or a car or something, which is something you really want. Pay yourself first. Bye.